Hey, what's up, fam? On this episode of the 4Sight podcast, we're going to be speaking with poet, artist, Miss Ebony Jenkins. Let's go. All right. And we will start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome everybody to the 4Sight podcast. I am your host, David Gordon, better known as DKG72, and really excited about today's podcast, today's show. It's going to be pretty fun. We're going to have a nice conversation, and we've got a very special guest, a very creative guest. She has her own podcast and on Spotify, and she's doing some nice things in the realm of poetry. But before we get to our guest, of course, got to do a little house cleaning, as is the way. First and foremost, just like to say thank you to all the people that are liking and sharing and listening and all of those good things. We really do appreciate you. We being myself and super producer Lamar, who's not here today. Hi, Lamar. You're not here. So this is all 100% me. I'm producing. I'm the producer. That being said, yes, guys, we really do appreciate you being part of our growing family. The YouTube page, the 4Sight Studio YouTube channel is growing. Thank you. The DKG 72 YouTube channel is growing. Thank you again. And there will, of course, we'll get to the spiels at the end. And just to let you know, we are available on all the DSPs now, including most recently added Apple Podcasts. So with all of that out of the way, let's get on to what you guys are actually here for, which is my lovely guest, who I had the pleasure of meeting on Facebook and kind of getting to know. And then I found out that she is a poet and she's putting her poetry out via her own podcast, which she's posting up on Spotify, and I'm sure some other DSPs, and we'll get into those. But without further ado, let me introduce our guest, Miss Ebony Jenkins. How you doing, ma'am?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being on the show. And so as I'm often want to do on these shows, kind of run us through your superhero backstory. Just kind of tell us how you ended up becoming such a dope poet, and what got you into poetry, and just how you ended up in this realm.
Well, I've been writing since I was in the third grade. I actually published my first book when I was in the fifth grade. My
Mm-hmm.
teacher asked me to write a poem for her wedding, and I did.
Oh,
And then she was like, I need to see the rest of your work. So I showed her the rest of my work, and she took it all. And I ended up moving schools and never heard from her. So I thought that basically she took all my work. Come to find out, she took it and she published it for me. She mailed it to my mom, and it was like my sophomore year in high school. That's how long it took this lady to find me. Um,
wow.
and that's it. I wrote as an outlet for stress. I kept diaries and short stories. It was just kind of my creative way of expressing emotions that I did not feel comfortable sharing with other people. So that's
Mm-hmm.
how I ended up writing.
Oh, that's dope. So you said that your writing was an outlet for like stress and things like that. Has that kind of been the case moving forward? And like, have you found yourself like going through peaks? Like as artists, I go through like different phases and things like that. Do you ever find yourself going through different phases as a when you're going through your creative process?
I do, and a lot of things inspire me. I can meet a dope person with a smooth vibe, and I want to write about that, or, trials and tribulations. I also do ministry. So a lot of what I deal with and, kind of comes out in my work is like spiritual encounters, having to deal with God's people and callings and that. So I have a lot of different avenues that I pull from that are my inspiration. Then you have those moments where you just want to write.
Mhm.
You heard a word, or you heard a song or something triggered something that you just had to put down on paper. So yeah.
Oh, that's dope. That's pretty cool because and the reason I say that is because I just I like with the podcast we kind of like we're kind of more inside baseball, so to speak. We're kind of inside the process, and I like getting inside the heads of creatives and poets and artists that are on here, and with just having that type of a conversation where I just kind of getting a feel for how you even put the words together. Like, how do you find, like, for me as an artist, it's I get a concept in my head and I may mull it over for a night or two, or if it's a really hot idea or something that's really just a mind, I got to get it out of my brain, I may even start like that minute. Do you ever have those moments, or is it kind of the same for you when you're getting into your creative, into your creative bag? Is it just kind of you get a thought and you just got to write it down, and do you hold on to it and you mull it over, and or is it both? Because I kind of do a combination of both sometimes.
Yeah, it's kind of both, right? You get this bomb concept, and then it's just like, okay, no, stop what you're doing, get some paper, even if it's like a short sentence, right?
Mhm.
Because I can write a dissertation off of a short sentence of inspiration, right? So
Mhm.
what I do now, because my life is so busy and all over the place, um, that I talk text. So I'll grab my phone and I will either rap it or speak into my phone and start putting down as much as I can while that flow is happening.
Mhm.
Sometimes stuff just comes off your head and it's so good, and you just gotta get it down. So it was something that happened. One of the poems that I have is called "I Love You, Black Man," and it was just
Mhm.
like at a time where our nation was it's up in an uproar, and my heart was pouring out for us, and it was
Mhm.
just like, man, I do, and I really do, and I really wanted to say something. So at that moment, I began to process it, right? What exactly I wanted to say, what point of view. And then I came up with this awesome poem. And then other moments, it was a word. Um, I think the word was like euphoric or something. And it was a rap, right? I just
Mhm.
I just ran with it. I ran with it. It was just a situation, and I needed to put it into words before either I forgot, because sometimes if you don't get it out, you'll forget, right? Because even
Yeah,
it'll
yeah.
be minimized. The situation will be minimized, and I didn't want it to be minimized. I wanted that passion and that fire to be in that poem. So I had to stop right then and there and get it down and pour it out real quick. And then I read over it. Now, I have had times where I have this amazing piece and I'll write it all down and I'm satisfied, right? And then I'll
Mhm.
go back, getting ready to just read over it. Because sometimes I just like to go back and read my work.
Mhm.
It either puts me in a happy space, or, that one moment where, yeah, that was bomb. I had to pat myself on the back. And then all of a sudden, I want to change it a little bit. I gotta throw in some more flavor. I just did it last night because I posted some new poems up on the podcast, and I had
Mhm.
one poem that I put up, and it flowed when I first did it. I know I've had to have read it like 6 or 7 times, but then all of a sudden I was like, no, I'm not feeling that, and I had to remix it, and I save both versions, right? Because somebody
Mhm.
might like it the first way I like it, and somebody may have liked the revamp. So yeah, it's. I don't think there's really any set structure. to true creative souls. It's just how we bleed. However we bleed on paper is what it's going to be.
No, I agree. And I've done it. I'll go back and look at stories that I've written and drawn, and I'll just be like, well, it's cool, but Jack could have drawn that a little bit better, or that line of dialogue just it didn't age well.
Yeah. Or have you ever gotten to like a point where you thought a word like matched another word, and then you read it again, you were like, yeah, that don't go.
Yeah. I've been there too. I've done all of those things, and it's just like, okay, but I think the good thing is that once you have it out, it is not so much on us to kind of make the decision whether it's good or bad, because to this day there's some things that like there's one particular work I did that I absolutely hate. I did a YouTube video on the making of this work. I absolutely hate that video. I hate that. I literally hate the artwork. Everybody that watches that video and they look at the artwork, they're like, "Oh, it's so dope," and I'm like, "What are you all looking at? What do you see?" Do we ever is there ever a point where you feel like sometimes as a creator we're too critical of ourselves, because we always want to put our best foot forward and all of that good stuff, but sometimes the art, it's really beautiful enough for the masses, but maybe we don't see it that way.
I totally agree. And it goes a little deeper for me because of the position that I'm in the church. I have to censor some of my work. And my work, I have a broad spectrum of creativity on different topics and everything. But some stuff I can't post for one audience for, that I could probably post for another one. So I'm always critical of myself. I'm always like, oh, that's super good, maybe. And then that's why I think I read it at least 4 or 5 times. Like I have to read it out loud and read it, write it down and look at it. I mean, I think everybody's like that. Even like, because I do, I paint, and I have paintings on my wall that I've done, and I'll stop and look at it like, so that's crooked. It's probably like, I actually posted that picture on Facebook and everybody loves it, but if I show you the picture, her leg is not symmetrical and nobody caught it. But every time I see it, I'm like, dang, there go that short thigh, Man,
so,
I think I think we're always a little overcritical. Any artist though, but that's what makes a great artist, I believe.
So what do you find the most, I guess, when you're birthing, what do you find the most stressful about putting your work out? Is it the right before you upload it or print it or publish it, or is it once it's out there, kind of that time period in between, once it's gone out and you're waiting for responses? What really just kind of weighs on you creatively? Because I already know what it is for me.
To put it up. I think it's to put it up. I'm so nervous about this book because it's my most vulnerable state. And just sharing that, because sometimes Facebook creates this unnatural persona, right? Because I talk about God, because I'm a minister, that I am absolutely perfect. So when I post something that is deep, or a little darker in nature, then you have, I'm nervous of what sometimes people will think because of what they have built up in their mind. Like, I know me, I know I'm a comedian. I am a little off sometimes. The most creative people are half crazy. And I embrace all of it. I embrace every side of me. You understand? I'm loving and nurturing, hilarious, a little slow sometimes. Like, I have my moments where I'm like, ooh, yeah, I don't know, your IQ, check it. But I I do recognize that I have good talent, but that's the stress of me trying to pick different pieces. I have some pieces that would be considered like erotica type material, but I am 40. That is part of,
That's
that
a
is
part of
kind
life.
of, yeah, I'm grown. I don't know no better way to say it. I'm grown, and I'm
Right.
not the mother Mary. I have 4 children. They did not magically get Mary's children, Mary, Jesus' child, made it to earth. They came here naturally. So, I mean, it's just sometimes the stress of it all, of being vulnerable in the public eye. As minister, I would never want to cause anybody to fall or be discouraged, but I mean, this is the creative side of who I am, and it presents every side of me as a woman, me as a mom, me as a creator, me as an artist. And yeah, so I think I stress over everything, but I think it's healthy.
Well, I think it's healthy. Well, sometimes I think sometimes, especially for me, I think sometimes I go a little bit overboard. Like, oh my God, because it's always the after I posted or the after I publish something that I start just going back like,
Yes.
you know what, maybe I should just take this down. No, leave you.
Oh yeah. Now that's me. I'd be like, oh, should I take that down? I think I should take it down. And then I'm like, you know what? No.
Yeah, I'm saying wait now. I force myself a lot of times to either keep things up or just roll with it and just move on to the next work or project or things like that. Your faith plays a lot of is a pillar, like you said. And there is that push and pull within your creative nature, because you told me before, sometimes you may veer into erotica, you may veer into, inspirational or something or something along those lines, or it just maybe you're just having a bad day. What's that balance like? Because I think a lot of people don't know. What's that balance like when you just are balancing those different sides of our brain?
It's most definitely challenging. And I I wrote a poem about it. I had to write that down. It's a struggle between your mind, body, and soul, right? Because as Christians, our soul is dedicated. Our mind, however, is a different subject. No saint ever in history should ever be judgmental because of the human nature that will fly through our minds. I mean, I have been in church and thought, I'm like, the blood of Jesus, I know you lying. But it's just that human nature, and it is a challenge to keep it. But I always pray. I pray and I always keep myself before God for balance. That is my balance. That is how I maintain complete balance, I would guess, because I mean, that way one whole form doesn't take over the whole process. I don't want a bunch of emotional pieces. I don't want something that is fleshly and on parade. And I just don't want to always be throwing scriptures at folks, right? I mean, I am human and I want people to understand Christianity from a realist point of view. Like, you don't have to be perfect to be a child of God. And this is why. And this is one. So now you have an example to where you know for sure that I love God with all my heart, but I'm not perfect. And here's an example, but this is why you keep fighting. Your mind is never going to agree with your flesh. Your flesh is never going to line up with your soul. You always have to stay before God to keep that balance. Trust me. I have been in prayer many times, and like a rerun from like Seinfeld will pop up, and I don't even understand why. Or I'd have to catch myself like, did you see what it, focus, Lord, Heavenly Father. So yeah, that is my balance. My balance is prayer. Always prayer. And I even see God when it comes to what pieces to post. Even if it's something like I have put up stuff and was like, yeah, no, that ain't the time. It's not the time for that. It's not the time for that. I even with the post you see from my Facebook post, I I post comedy and the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
I'm either gonna make you laugh or pray. Them your only options with me. You're gonna get some joy or joke. Either way, I'm okay with that. But yeah, that's how I keep balance. Just prayer.
Yeah, no, and it's cool. It's interesting because I like just speaking with creators and people that are in all kinds of different spaces, and faith-based creators. Sometimes it's really fun to talk with creators that are really secure within their faith, but then they also have that creative side, and because I already know that can kind of just lead us all over the place.
Exactly.
So it's interesting to know, just how you deal with those situations and just how you navigate those waters. But it's cool that you really kind of say, okay, well, I'm use my faith, being a Christian, to kind of be the fulcrum for this, and then sometimes it may go here, but I'm gonna come back, and sometimes it may go here, and but I'm gonna always come back to what is really true to me. And yeah. I think that's really interesting. I think that's important for artists to know on wherever you're at in your life, is that you just always got to come back to what's true to you. You think that's kind of...
It's my foundation.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't veer off. I want people to see a real person in Christ. I can't keep my dirty laundry hidden, and then I want to tell someone that has nothing but dirty laundry that Jesus saves. I need for you to see that laundry. I need for you to see the side of me that I needed help from God for. So when it's time for you to seek God, for a fact, right? Because we don't ask things without believing. So you've seen an example. You've seen, well, Sister Ebony was struggling with XYZ and she made it through. So God, if you did it for her, you can do it for me. I don't hide any part of my life. I am the OG of Christianity. I believe that's why I was called to represent, because I'm not going to shake and fake for nobody. I'm me all day. I love God completely. Do I mess up? Yes. Have I done some crazy stuff? Oh my God, yes. And I'm planning to put a book out. But Christ is my foundation, and I'm not going to misrepresent him by not showing his healing power, his saving power, his changing power, and his influence in my life. So yeah, don't get that real messing with me.
Oh, that's dope. That's what's up. So this is what we're going to do, Ebony. We're going to take a break for a quick minute. We're going to pay some bills for the podcast because you gotta support. We need to get support. But when we get back, we're gonna talk more about you being an artist and just how you get through the struggles of building and maintaining your business and making this profitable for you, but also staying true to yourself. So we'll see you guys back on the other side. This is the 4Sight podcast. We'll be right back.
Do you need to reimagine your love? Relax and set your mind free with the Black Love Chronicles coloring book from 4Sight Publishing. Color in the spaces of love, lust, commitment, and embrace true passion with the Black Love Chronicles, available on Amazon. Get your copy and recolor your happiness today.
All right, guys, we're back, and we are speaking with poet, artist, Miss Ebony Jenkins. And Ebony, so you got the podcast, and I know you're putting it out through Spotify. What are some other outlets that you're putting your podcast out through?
Facebook and Instagram. So far, I'm actually getting help from friends. I'm fairly new to this process, so I've been getting on everyone's nerves to help me. So far, I'm only on those outlets, but it's growing.
It's growing, okay. Well, that's what's up. What was the what made you decide to put out a the podcast, which is basically your podcast is basically you reciting your poems and one you have a beautiful speaking voice and it really resonates. But what made you decide to put the poems out as a podcast series that, you know, on Spotify specifically? Because I thought that was kind of a dope move for a creative to do.
Well, I wanted to try something new. I was looking into getting it published.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just was like, I really wasn't feeling the process. And I just thought one day, I'm like, I've always wanted to do spoken word, but I was just too chicken to do it. Everyone's always say, oh my God, you sound so great on the phone, or you sound so, and I was like, I can do this. So I was literally laying in the bed one day and I was like, I'll just release it on podcast. I don't even know what happened. I was just like, and I was like, okay, like if I can get through one, this is going down. So I put one up there and it literally took me about 20 takes to get it how I wanted it. And then I saw that you could add music. Change the game.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. And I was just like, I'm gonna roll with it. And once I get it out, I mean, it's gonna evolve into something else with it. Because my sisters I have some phenomenal talent, and I've built some really amazing relationships through Facebook. So it's gonna grow. I just wanted to make sure I got this book out first. Because then it's my thing, right? It's my stamp that I left on the world. And I'm so excited about it. I'm, like I said, I'm a little nervous because it is some very vulnerable moments. It is some very touching moments. It's some lovely inspirational moments, but it's still all a part of me. And it's literally over 20 years worth of work. I even have poetry from, like I said, when I was a little kid. So I have a lot that's going to go into it. But yeah, I thought that was just a unique way to get it out there quickly.
No, it really is. And it's funny because we have so many, we didn't have all these outlets before. And I think now artists, we have so many outlets. It's amazing to me that you're not a spoken word artist, because when I listened to the few episodes that I was able to get in and take in, I took in about like 5 or 6 over the past since when I reached out to you when you first posted, and I reached out to you, like, hey, you need to post your link. But I was going through them, and I listened to them. I was like, so I find it shocking that you're not a spoken word artist because of how you were able to deliver.
I'm a complete chicken little. So, oh my God. And it's so funny because I'll sing at church. I also teach at church, but I don't know. It just always kind of terrified. But the dramatics that you hear in my voice is I'm a teacher. So, and I love illustrating Bible stories and stuff when I teach. So it was pretty easy to transition. And then nobody's watching me. So I can be as free as I want to. I know it's something on there, and it was one of my poems that says highs and lows, and I love it. And then it was another poem when it says stroking me with your face, and I drop, and I was just like, I can be as dramatic as I want to be. Nobody can see me. And then when I play it, I'm just like, yes, this is great. But nope, I've never done spoken word. I've always wanted to. In my mind, I have a complete set. You know, those little hanging lights, it's like the shop lights. I have the entire scene set for me, how to be an amazing spoken word artist. And I just have been too chicken to ever try it. So I got my podcast.
You know what? YouTube might be a good option for you too, because you can kind of set it up. You can set your setup the way you want to, but you wouldn't have the crowd. And I don't know. Maybe that might not be an option, but that might be an option.
It is an option, and trust me, I'm thinking about it. Trust me, I'm thinking about it. I'm just trying to figure out cassette wise, I need to have 2 sets. So because I have morning inspiration, that is for scripture and everything else and teaching and all that jazz. And then I would have to have that set. So I'm trying to see space wise how this is going to play out. But yeah, that is when everything is out and done, then I will actually try to perform a few of these live. So we'll stay tuned. Okay, stay tuned. We got some creative drip going on behind the scenes.
Oh, that's what's up. I just love the idea that we as artists have so many different ways now, and there's an ease, but there's also not so much ease, but you don't have to deal with people gatekeeping in the ways that you had to before. You know, you can just kind of put your art out there. And have you, since you've been putting your art out via like Spotify, Facebook, and Instagram, what's it like with building your fan base? How has that been going?
Well, it's just starting, but I was shocked to see how many people started to support it as quickly as they did. I knew it was gonna, anything that I start, because I've also started a business and it's just that consistent. My goal is just to be consistent, because I know with consistency, it's gonna grow on its own. It's the same with like, I'm a revenue manager. I do so much stuff. Pray for me. Pray my strength in the Lord.
Will do.
But it's consistency, right? It's always building up that clientele, taking care of who you have, loving on those, keep them coming back. So I'm just more concerned with consistently putting out good material, creating new ways to deliver. I'm not really concerned about the audience numbers just yet, just the quality of what I'm putting out, and then just being consistent. And you build it, they will come. So that's where I'm at.
Have you been getting lots of comments and things like that? Because with my YouTube channel, my main channel, I've built to a nice little community, and they get to talking sometimes. Sometimes I have to come in and rein them in a little bit, like, hey, calm down. I don't want to have to block you, bro, but I will block you.
I have not experienced that on this platform yet. I have experienced on a regular platform. They'll put some out of control stuff on there, but I'm not worried about that because my Black hand's strong. I have no issue with parting ways. Like my biggest thing is just being respectful of each other and the work. You know, you don't have to agree. I would never want a crowd of people that all agreed. That would be very boring. I just want to make sure that it's not an attack or, you know, you're bullying or harassing anyone. I want it nice and clean. I want you to speak your opinion. Speak your opinion. Please have an opinion. I love I love to swap knowledge with like-minded folks. That's my jam. That's my vibe. I do not like people that just spit poison, and that's with the sole purpose of that intent.
Yeah.
So I will block you. I will still pray for you. I will still love you, but you will not be seen on my page.
So publishing, is that going to be an option moving forward with your poetry?
It is. I actually had a few publishers reach out to me wanting to publish it. I'm just praying on that. I mean, I want to. I'm just not sure where I am with that. Just because financially, I'm already like fostering a business, and I want to make sure financially it makes sense right now. I want to see how the numbers do on the podcast. I'm a numbers gal, so I want to do research first before I dump all this money into one pot.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use the information from the podcast, see how it goes, and then if they want a physical book, then I will most definitely put one out.
for me, making those decisions is agonizing at times. Just figuring out what is the next move and what's the best move. Sometimes having contracts put in front of you and you're looking at it and you're just like, you know, what's the process of doing business with your art like for you? Just, does it sometimes be a burden, or is it just kind of a symptom of what you're doing, or how do you handle building it into a business?
It's just a part of the business. I'm okay with it. I love I'm a general manager for Country and Sweets, and I've been a GM for over 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
So the business part of it is easy for me. I do have a legal team that works with me. God has blessed me with people that are just amazing and just help on their own. Like they're just really good friends now. And now if I need help, they're always there for me. So that's the easy part. I'm not too much worried about that. I would never sign anything without getting it looked over a few times. So that the business part of it, I'm not even concerned. Like I said, my concern is just getting out that quality of work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Creating that quality and making sure that the art is on point.
Yep. That's it. Creating content, good, meaningful, something that is going to be useful, and a tool, for someone else to really grab hold to. I really just don't want to be putting out stuff just to be putting out stuff. I always want it to always serve a purpose. So that's my only concern. I just don't want to put out a bunch of willy-nilly poems and in the name of poet. I want it to be really good. So that's my only thing. The business part, that's easy. That's the easy part. I wouldn't even stress over that part.
Well, for me, it's not so much it is in the sense that, I want to make the right decisions for the business, because, I see the potential, the possibilities, the many streams. So I don't want to run into the dead end. I want to always keep options and things available. So I guess that's where it comes in. It becomes sort of agonizing for me. And now, just kind of keeping it in that business realm, only because this is something that I've been looking at for the past couple of weeks. And it seems to really be impacting our world in a major, major way. And I'm going to ask you, have you looked into this, to NFTs and how they might alter the entire world of art, poetry, music, everything?
No, I haven't, but I am not a girl. I'm not afraid. I'm not a girl that's not afraid to ask. I ask questions. I seek out folks. I got entrepreneurs. I got everything. So when it's time, I just ask questions. That's how I learn. What are we doing now? So that's not a thing anymore. No.
It's super interesting because, from what I understand, and I'm no expert by any means. So,
right.
But what I do understand about it is you could take a digital work of art, be it maybe a poem, your recital of a poem. Say you recite a poem, or I do a drawing digitally, and you take it to the blockchain, and they basically certify it as the original, the one of one, from which everything comes, and then that makes it both collectible, and of course you can sell it. And from what I understand, you get as it moves up the chain, that people may, say somebody says, hey, I got this original Ebony Jenkins poem. and I paid $5,000 for it. Well, somebody says, well, I want to pay $10,000 for it. Okay, I'll sell it to you for $10,000. But then you just chilling at home, doing what you're doing, writing the next poem, you get, you get a royalty from that. So that's what I mean by these things this could change the world of art, because as you know, there's guys, and it was always kind of a foregone conclusion. If I do a work of art, like you're a painter, so you already know if you paint something and it sells, that's it for you. that you're out the loop. Mm-hmm. You're no longer in the loop. And just based off of my ham-fisted explanation, how does that kind of even sound? How does that sound to you? I know how it sounds to me. How does it even sound to you?
That sounds great to me. That my work will live on, and I will forever collect the royalty if they keep selling it.
Yeah.
Yes, please. And thank you.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're saying the royalties are in perpetuity.
Yeah. Thank you. And what else do I need to create? Because again, I mean, okay, here's the deal. I've had like pictures and stuff that I've painted and drawn for people that just circulate around. Somebody sold it for somebody. So they're always like, if they don't keep it as a collectible and they decide to sell it, now it makes them money, but it's still my work.
Right. And it's your name.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're saying that now I'm actually protected and I don't have to pay $1,000 to me, because now I was looking in, we had to have everything copyright, right? Mm-hmm. You cannot put anything out. All of my PSA, all of my poetry is copywritten already. Thank you. Because I know I know people like will fall in love and try to put their name on it. So I like that idea. I like that now my name is forever on my work and no one else can just like leech off your stuff. And if they do, then just send me my money.
Yeah. I mean, because the possibilities.
So I think that's good. I think that's more of a protection for us than it was before. I mean, and then it really, I hope that it will motivate artists to create more, because a lot of people don't even share half the stuff they do because they're so scared that folks don't steal it and, or misuse it. So we'll see. They always say something is for something and it may not be. It'll be something crazy and creepy. So we'll see.
And that's kind of the thing, because I think one of the things that I always look at is the same thing. It's like, okay, if I create something, what is the best way for me to utilize this art? Not only that it'll benefit me, because from a selfish standpoint, you want to make something, or you want some compensation, but also build my name out. And I think the art world has had this problem for so long that it's crazy. It's like I think it's kind of like, it's one of those things where I think a lot of artists felt we just had to surrender. And I think that adds to our anxiety when just putting out our art.
It makes you hoard your art. It makes you not want to share it sometimes. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's so much that goes into, and I don't think everyone knows that. The people that just kind of sit back and enjoy certain things, I don't think they understand the amount of mental work that goes into it, then the physical work, and then you got to go back to the mental work. So yeah, I agree. I totally agree. Man.
I'm gonna ask you a question. Have you ever had a day where you've been creating something, or you just been you were on a tear, but then afterwards you just like drained emotionally, and you're just like, what did I do to myself?
Yeah.
What is that like for you? Because for me, it's literally near complete exhaustion.
I promise you, I will instantly take a nap when I'm done. I have written certain days and then just put the book on the bed. Like, I'm single, so I don't have anyone living with me. So half my bed is like, computer, Bible, so I'll literally just push it over to the side and go to bed, because now I got to recharge. And I gotta be, it's a whole process. Like it's like your whole body is involved in this process. So
Yes.
yeah, I've had those moments where I'm just like, good God Almighty. But then you're at peace, right? There's a certain level of peace that comes with that exhaustion though, because you got it out, right? You're totally happy that you got it out. Woo, I got it out. I'm good. Now you can torture yourself again on the next thing that you come up with. Ending battle. People don't know. They're just sitting back snapping fingers and stuff and don't even know. Like I'm a near mental breakdown trying to get this out on this paper. So yeah, I agree. That I think that's an all over thing. You're not alone.
I'm glad I'm not alone because I've had days where I've literally just passed out at my desk and people are like,
like enough is enough. Yeah, you've pulled on your brain too much. I have those moments, especially when I'm really trying to snatch that vocabulary. You know, I try to keep it simple and flowing, but I have some pieces that are like on TD Jakes level, but I'll ease them into those pieces. I am crazy about words. Like I will literally just look through the dictionary and find awesome words and study it, because I mean, you want your work to have depth to it. And, yeah. So yeah, it's a process. It's a process. And I will take a nap. I'm 40. Naps are my friend. I'm not mad about a nap.
Hey, because sometimes I'll jump from writing on one project to doing some artwork, and then by about 5 o'clock, I'm done. I'm toast. I've painted pictures and then went to sleep, smiling, like, oh yeah, that's so beautiful. You know what? Painting is a whole nother. I have to have another level of energy for when I do my paintings, because that's that is best thing. Take a pre-workout. I take lit when I work out, because I love to work out. I take lit, and it is the bomb, but I actually will make a small drink if I'm getting ready to paint, because I just like that energy. I hate trying to paint and you're tired. Because in painting, you gotta stop, look, stop, get it together. I change my water out 1,000 times and I look at it again, and yeah. So I mean, I want that energy. I want that or Red Bull. So yeah. You got to have some energy in this stuff. You got to be ready, because if not, you're going to sleep. You're going night. You're going to bed, because I am. And it impacts the artwork too. Yeah, it does. Wanted to ask you, so watercolors, acrylics, or oils for you? Acrylics. I'm scared of oils just because I have smaller children, and it takes a little longer to dry, and I will be sick if one of them little boogers ran and slap one of them pictures. So I don't know. I think the worst when it comes to my work, so I want to make sure it's safe. And yeah, my kids are very inquisitive, and I don't see them being above walking up and say, hey, is this wet, and touching it. So I have not tried oils. I have not tried. I really, really want to, because of the building of it. You can really build on it and blend. But I just, no, I'm not there yet. But the day I become rich, I'm actually going to build me a studio. Oh, that's so building a studio is in the plan. It's gonna have a lock on it. Yeah, it's gonna, I gotta have my prayer room, but it's gonna be a prayer room / studio, and I'm going to have a lock on it, and it's gonna be mommy's space. Yeah, because every man should have a man cave. Every woman should have a mommy's space. So that's what I'm gonna do, and then I'm probably gonna try the oil. Where once you can kind of lock the room and not worry about. Correct. This is dry. That or they graduate. Yeah. That or they graduate. Be like, oh, I didn't think that line should be there, and smear it in. Like, my kids are very comical. Like, they would do that type of stuff just because they're like baby comedians, and
I love them very dearly, but I know them, especially Kennedy. Kennedy would slap and run.
I don't need to go there. Let me get it out of there.
I'm a never wait.
No.
I'll wait. She's like, you can't catch me now, old lady. I'll wait, and until I can lock it up and have my own private time. And right now it's just acrylics. They dry really quickly. And I like them. So I haven't tried much. I like chalk and other stuff, but again,
Acrylics.
try not to get stuff that kids may like.
Are you? Do you work super large, or what's kind of what do you kind of, and do you work on like canvas or canvas boards, or what how do you like to work?
I like the large pre-stretched Amazon canvas board. You get like 6 a pack for like $90. They're really nice size. Like you can put them over the sofa size.
Was it 18 by 24s?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And they are, and they're.
Oh.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
I was during quarantine. I found them, and it was a wrap. I was like, yes, because normally I do like sketch pads, just because I didn't have that space or time working. But then during the pandemic, I was like, I found the deal, and that's my new fave. So I always go and just reorder. I was thinking about doing a painting session with a few of our mutual friends. Just I don't know. It's something in the making.
Okay.
When I say paint and sip, it's probably going to be Sprite. Make that clear when I say it's going to be sparkling water and juice.
There's nothing wrong with that.
So it's just some time to get together and fellowship, and everyone's always saying, I want you to paint me this, and I want to show them how easy it is. Like you can paint some of this stuff yourself, and then they can have something that they'll be proud of.
Favorite subject matter to paint?
Anything on sale?
Hold on. What was that again?
Anything, I don't have a favorite paint. My favorite paint is the paint that's on sale.
No. I was saying favorite subject. Like I like to paint people, specifically women.
Yeah, I like to black women. Black art or abstract.
Okay.
It's a guy I just found on Instagram. He makes these paintings with stones on it, and it looks like real water. I'm like, I can try this. If not, then I'm just probably gonna destroy my garage. But we're gonna see. I'm up for anything.
Instagram be having me wanted to do so many different things.
It's just a crazy amount of talent. But I'm abstract, most definitely, in black art. I love it. I love the figure of the black woman. Like,
so do I.
I just
No. I know that doesn't sound. No, I just do.
That tickled my soul. But I really do. Like, I mean, the shape of our hips, and I mean, not saying that they're not shapely. I'm just saying I love us. That's it. I love. I saw one picture. The lady had a fro, and she was kind of sitting backwards, and her back was twisted. Oh, honey, I just think it's fabulous. It's a fabulous art. So yeah, I would say most definitely abstract and black art.
Yeah, that's why I did the that's one of the things I enjoyed about when I was doing the Black Love Chronicles coloring book, was just drawing beautiful black women and drawing brothers and couples and just those whole situations. So that's kind of when I do paint, it's almost always either going to be, 90% is going to be black women in some way, shape, or form, or it's going to be, and then it'll kind of veer into fantasy sometimes and things like that. But most of the time, it's just I'm with you. Just that form, the shape, that just it's just I have a thing.
Yeah, it's just a thing. It's okay. We share that same thing. I love us, and I love it's another artist. He does plus size models. And I'm like, yeah, I gotta learn that too. I can learn. Most of the stuff that I do is self-taught. I see something and then I try it and it's pretty good. I learned how to do permanent makeup that way. I went and paid someone $700, did not like it. It faded, almost disappeared off my face.
Oh, wow.
I woke up one day, went and bought everything I needed, did it. It stuck. It looked amazing. And then I went to school for it. So a lot of this stuff is, it started out as just self-taught. So I saw this man do this plus size modeling drawings, and I'm like, yes, and I love it. So I'm gonna try. I'm gonna post some pieces so you can take a look at it. But it's I don't know because I got so much stuff.
No, because I loved and I made the point of this in the coloring book to draw plus size women and just kind of just really do that expansion and as I expand and when I actually get time to paint more, because I haven't had time lately, but when I have time, that's kind of just Black women in general, but then plus size, because it's just interesting and fun, and it's a blast.
It is, because we rock. We rock her. I love where things have gone for plus size women and the confidence that I see now. I know a lot of people are still on the fence about it or have some negative things to say, but I love all things lovely. As far as it's how we see ourselves, how we present ourselves. I think Black people, we are amazing. And I love this full confidence that I've really seen more so recently. I'm an 80s baby, and it wasn't, big girls were not popular. I've lived in both eras where it was not popular, not cool. I have always been a big girl. But I got my respect because I used to tell them as a teenager, you gonna be my friend by, choice or default. Don't play with me. But
that's called extortion.
So I wasn't playing no games with people. I've always loved my plus sizeness. And if you did, you either kept it to yourself or you whispered it. But now I love this flow of confidence that I'm seeing, and plus size models are really just booming. I love it. And it's just self-love. I love this self-love that everyone is on. Finally, like, you see what we all been seeing. Like, I love us, period. So, yeah.
Oh, that's dope. So Ebony, how can people get a hold of you on social media so they can see, for one, they can see your wonderful paintings, and two, how can they hear your outstanding and amazing poetry?
Okay, so you can go to Spotify, and it is called A Poet's Heart, and you can see and share and like all my poetry and spoken word that I have available. And I'm also on IG. It's called Brow by Evie. You can see my artwork and permanent makeup work there. And I'm also on Facebook as just myself, Ebony Jenkins. So look me up anytime you can. A lot of my posts are public, so you can still see a lot of the things and inspirational things that I have going on. Just in case you need that extra moment of encouragement or a push throughout the day.
Well, that's what's up. Ebony, I just want to thank you for being a guest on the podcast, and we want to go ahead and wrap things up. Guys, once again, please look up Miss Ebony on her Spotify, her Instagram, and on her Facebook. You will not be disappointed. As for us, the 4Sight Podcast, we're here every Friday. Once again, thank you guys for showing up and showing out as always. If you guys are liking what you're hearing and or seeing on YouTube, please make sure that you like and share, especially on YouTube. That like button, hitting the big thumbs up, that's the lifeblood of this channel, and it helps us grow, helps us defeat the YouTube algorithm. Go ahead and share it. If you're new here, what's up? How you doing? And please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. All the listeners, if you are wherever you're on, please subscribe to the podcast on your favorite DSP, be it Google, Apple, or Spotify. And if you guys really like what you're hearing, seeing, and all this stuff, and you want to support the studio, we do have a Patreon. Oh boy, tongue got tied. We have a Patreon. That's DKG72 Comics, where you can pick a tier, or if you want, you can always hit the links that will be in the description below and purchase coloring books, graphic novels, all that great stuff. So on that note, I just want to thank you again, Miss Ebony. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. I really enjoy having you on. And as for you guys, we'll be back with another banger next week. This is David Gordon, better known as DKG72. This is the 4Sight Podcast. We will see you later. Peace.